Well, hello, everyone. Welcome to Doing Business in Bentonville. I'm your host today, Deanna Baker, and I'm excited for today's podcast because I'm going to have a great conversation with a friend of mine, Kim Souza. And if you all don't know Kim, she's been a senior analyst for quite some time in this area. So let me tell you specifically about Kim before we get started. Like I said, she's a senior analyst for Talk Business and Politics. She covers retail, supply chain, and other industries for publications, including the Northwest Arkansas Business Journal. And she's been doing this since 2012. Mm-hmm. So Kim has closely followed and reported on Walmart and its suppliers. So we're going to have a fantastic conversation today. Welcome to Doing Business in Bentonville. Thank you. Kim, when we get started here, I mean, you and I can talk for hours. I think
Sure.
we have before.
We did.
Specifically about Walmart. You recently wrote an article about Walmart's fashion business.
Yes.
And specifically the launch of the newest tween brand,
Mm-hmm.
Weekend Academy. What about that or made it feel like the right time to write that story?
Well, the launch of the brand, they introduced it during Walmart Shareholder Week in June. So it was timely there. It was launched, I think it just hit stores on the 7th, right in time for back to school. And back to school is a big retail event. And also I thought it would be timely to just recap the evolution of Walmart's venture in apparel over the last 10 or 15 years. They've come such a long way. And their trajectory looks great. They're just not there yet. That's my take on it. Mm-hmm. But I applaud everything they've done. The tween brand that they launched, Weekend Academy, I think it really hit the mark. I have grandchildren that age, and I ran it by them, and they were like, oh, cool, Mimi, I love that outfit. So thumbs up there. But I think they really, Walmart's really dialing into fashion. They've invested in trend AI technology that cuts like 6 weeks out of the process of designing to get things from trend on shelf much faster. You could speak to that about the cumbersome.
Anything to shorten that lead time
Yes.
is a plus.
So they really are investing in that business, and I just thought it would be timely to write about it. So I did.
Yeah. Well, I enjoyed talking about it with you a little bit, but I thought it would be interesting to do a deeper dive for this audience.
Okay.
Who follows Walmart closely.
Okay.
And so, where would you like to begin on this conversation? You talked about the trajectory being good and where they've been to where they're going. What specifically about that do you think is important for this audience to know?
Well, why don't we talk a little bit about their evolution? They have been known for their basics forever. I remember buying my socks and underwear there as a child.
Thank you.
But they're so much more than that now. And I would like to talk about how did that come to be? You were in ground central of that because you ran that business for so many years. Tell me what led to that. What were the high points? What were the things that caused Walmart to really buy into fashion?
Yeah. So, as you know, we've had some attempts before.
Yeah.
And, have never really been given credibility for fashion. What we all are, I say are like I still work there, and that will forever be. So forgive me. So what Walmart, has been known for, and frankly, it's something to be proud of, is having so much market share and depth in what we used to call the acronym JUST: jeans, underwear, socks, and tees. Mm-hmm. The things you have multiples for in your wardrobe, that foundation. And we were very good at that. We had figured out, exactly how to plan it to a T, to end cleanly, to stay in stock, to run it well. It was a well-oiled machine. But everything has a proper time and place depending on the variables around it. And we saw, I would say 10 years ago, even, that we needed to get more refined in our approach of how we go to market to be able to serve the next customer. We had a large share of our core customers' wallet in apparel spend. And the mission of a retailer is to grow more sales, right? And so to do that, we needed to be able to entertain more customers and to give them what they need. Mm-hmm. And, through a lot of research, the next step was fashion. And, the trick to all of it is, well, goodness, we certainly enjoy and appreciate and want to maintain the loyalty of the customers that brought us to where we are. We do not want to trade them for another customer who's particularly not shopping us today because they're spending their fashion dollars elsewhere. So, the strategy was always, how do you maintain one and grow into another, an additional customer? Because we knew this customer, but, they were shopping other retailers, mid-tier, even department stores for their fashion needs. So when I talk about time and place, in order to be credible, there are certain things that needed to happen before venturing into being a fashion destination. And I think that's where we fell short in the prior years, just to walk you through that a little bit, a merchant's number one goal is to drive those sales. In the quest to do that, you can end up having too many SKUs, too many items or programs that will fit on the floor. And I'm specifically talking about the floor because these are the years before we became
online, right?
Right. And so we needed to really evoke a lot of discipline around how we set and maintain that floor. Very cognizant of our operator partners and what it took to run 4,000 unique stores well in apparel. Mm-hmm. And so it started with the SKU diet. Okay, so about 2017, we had to courageously cut about 30% of the SKUs, which is very scary if you're a merchant and you're trying to drive your P&L based on a historical number of programs that you had. How are you going to overachieve that with fewer programs?
Right. You got to sell more of less.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So, and curation, from store to store has got to be paramount so that you're offering the broadest assortment that you possibly can and manage well.
Right.
So that was done, quite an achievement. Second thing, you still can't be credible in fashion if you can't. Now we're moving into 2020, 2021, if you aren't credible with BOPUS, being able as an omni merchant to fulfill his or her order through whatever mechanism, time of day. Right. I mean,
anytime, anywhere they want it.
Exactly. You can't do that if you aren't super clear on your inventory position.
True.
That was not just a Walmart problem. It's a fashion industry problem. Right. But we were no different, right? And so we spent the time, had a lot of involvement, both from a peer group. Everyone in Walmart needed to care about apparel being successful. And so through a lot of help and heavy lifting, we implemented RFID.
Right. It's a game changer.
Huge game changer. And so suddenly now everything has a home, right?
Right.
Also, I would be remiss if I did not mention all of the efforts from the past 10 years of improving the value of each item we sold. Mm-hmm. Not just about lowest price point, but the best value. So, a lot of work, even while we're curating, reducing our SKU count, doing RFID, we had to make sure that we were offering even better fabrication,
right?
Better workmanship, and in the best factories around the world.
Okay, so that you had to dive into your supplier network to beef up that part of the business.
Yes. Still, we're offering basics and essentials, mm-hmm. right? But they are the best quality basic and essential you can get for the price. All of that, I feel, needed to be done as a foundation to be given authority to go after fashion.
Okay.
And so, as you know, I retired from Walmart August of 22. And so now I'm watching, from a different side of the table.
Sure.
But I'm very impressed and proud of what the team has gone on to do, so that an additional customer can be satisfied while she's shopping groceries, bottle of wine, she's in electronics, she's in home, that she can also find all of her needs that she wants through Walmart Fashion, which is now, an endless aisle on e-commerce, or she can order it on her phone and have it delivered to her home from her local store. And so I think I just see it all, Kim, as a progression, and it's a long-term strategy that I see the thread that brought the team where they are today. And, I applaud them.
Well, it's just under a $30 billion business. It's huge. They're clearly doing more than socks, underwear, tees, and whatever the other thing was. Jeans. They're clearly doing more than that. But also the mindset change. Talk to me a little bit about that, because you don't just go from being underwear king to being fast fashion, which is where they're trying to be today. What had to happen in a mindset change? I know you moved a team to New York, some of them came back, now you got people in New York again. Walk me through that whole thing.
Yeah. Well, it starts with a sound strategy that's backed with facts. And a lot of research was done about the customer we were serving, the one that we wanted to also be able to serve, where I'll say he was currently shopping. The price points that attracted them. Walmart had a big crossover customer with, as I said, mid-tier, as well as department stores. And so, you research what they do well. And one of the conclusions was we need more national brands. We absolutely need more national brands in our mix to bring in the customer who's shopping brands. And, obviously we still wanted private brands to stand very tall. Private brands certainly have their place in the mix.
Right.
And so that was one of the conclusions we came to in the strategy. But bringing everyone along, each department within fashion. So how do you win the fashion customer in baby, kids, men's, women's, accessories? You have to really consider it all separately and then bring it into a strategy that works holistically.
Right.
So that your team can buy into it. That's where we started. Again, we didn't want to forfeit what we had, been known for. I think we were all very proud that, we were known for great quality basics. We just needed, in order to grow, to continue to fulfill those needs. I wouldn't say it was hard bringing everyone along. We just needed to understand how it mattered to each department within fashion to allow them to win. So it was really breaking down that strategy for the team.
Well, the team, I believe it was you who told me that Walmart does have a team based in New York, a design team.
That's correct.
But they worked very closely with Bentonville. I think they were here for Shareholder Weekend, and they were part of they were the ones behind Weekend Academy, the new brand, the new tween brand. They've also worked with outside designers, Brandon Maxwell. Some of those designs are very, they're just very in. You see the same thing at Gap. You see the same thing at Banana Republic, some of them. They're just in. The fashion is in, but it's at a much lower price point. So Walmart, to me, I think has done a really good job blending their national brands, the Reeboks and athleisure brands that they have, and also bringing in, using a designer to design their private brands who look very much like the same thing you would get at an Old Navy or a Gap. So I think that's been a really good strategy for them. One thing I've noticed is that Walmart wants to be and is an omni retailer, but they still have work to do in their online experience. Now, the stores, I was just in a store up in Jane, Missouri last week, and I walked through the apparel department. Bought my husband some shorts. He has the same, I swear they're the same shorts we got from Viore. They're
Wow. Well done.
I mean, they're basically the same design. Wick away underpants with them. And they were $19. They're $80 a pair on Viore. He has several pair of them. And I saw them and I said, we're going to try this because, he just works out in them.
Mm-hmm.
He loved them. He said, what other colors do they have? So Walmart is really doing it well in some categories. I think that I found that in a store, and I found that the stores do have relevant fashion in them. They may not have your size because they're limited in the number of sizes they can have, but if you're a normal size, they probably do have your size, and they have pretty good selection. If you want to work out, if you have a luncheon date, or even if you have a dinner date, they've got some quasi formal, casual / formal wear in some of the stores. You can run there and pick it up. They don't do as good a job online getting it to you as some of the other stores that I found. This morning, I tried to use the Ask Sparky AI assistant. I used him a while back to help me plan a 4th of July party. He was not very much help. He had just been released. So I thought I'd give him another try. And I asked him to help me pick out a fashion outfit for an event. And he came right back for a party. And he came right back with little girls' party dresses that I don't have any little girls, and I wasn't shopping for a little girl. He didn't know that. So I gave him some more information. Ladies event, casual event. And he came right back with 4 or 5 items priced everywhere from $45 to $50 down to $9. Okay. So a great breadth of dresses, pantsuits, short outfits, even leisure stuff. Mm-hmm. The one I wanted, the one I thought I would click on was $45. When I clicked on it, it had my size. He knew my size because it was already highlighted. Mm-hmm. But they couldn't get it to me until August 6th. That wouldn't help me for an event this weekend. Mm-hmm. I could run to TJ Maxx or Gap or, I don't know, Chico or some other store here locally in the mall and get that and have it for this weekend. So Amazon could get me something similar probably by Saturday or Sunday. So Walmart still has work to do in getting you stuff online. They can have Ask Sparky help you all they want, but if he can't get it to you in time, mm-hmm. what good is it?
Yes.
What good is it? Mm-hmm. That's one area that I think that they're going to continue to invest, and they need to invest in experience. They do pretty good with their social. Have you been involved with their social commerce platforms?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
I have too. I'm a big Pioneer Woman fan. And that's not fashion, but I think she might have some aprons and stuff. But she did some events with Walmart, and it was super easy to purchase it via Facebook, via social media, or I don't do TikTok, but I think they did one on TikTok. But super easy. So Walmart is dabbling in this. Mm-hmm. I think they did some in fashion in the No Boundaries line for young fashion. I think they did some on TikTok and some other social formats. They're dabbling in this, and they're even doing virtual reality games where you can purchase the stuff for your virtual reality cartoons. animated figures. So they're playing in the right spaces. They're learning, and I applaud them for that. They're just a little bit behind the curve in being a true omni retailer for fashion. Now, if I need cornbread mix, maybe they can get that to me in 15 minutes.
Yes, absolutely.
But so they're doing so many things right. It's just as they've expanded their number of suppliers through their marketplace and other avenues, there's such a breadth of assortment that they have. It's great if they can get it to you by the time you need it.
I've realized it's taken me a few orders, but to pay attention on if something is a marketplace supplier or,
Well, I think it'll tell you. I think it'll tell you.
No, it's me paying attention completely. But sometimes that is the difference. And, if it's something that's in your local store, it can be in your doorstep in, less than an hour or whatever the claim is now. And I've had great success with that.
If it's in the store.
Or
you can run by and pick it up.
You're right, correct. But to have the breadth needed for fashion, you're right. You don't care. It's time bound. You need it by, you need it by that weekend. So
more work to do there.
Yeah, the more work to do there, absolutely. And also you have to think about fashion means something different to everyone.
Sure.
And so your fashion aesthetic might be different than mine. Someone that might be younger than us, I'm not going to date us, but might have a different view of what it is.
Right.
So the breadth has to be there.
Yeah.
And, if Sparky can get smarter and if those suggestions can become a little more refined to the user, then I think, you're going to bring more people through the funnel through e-commerce.
Right. And I think that Walmart is indexing well with Gen Z. At least the stuff I read says they are. But Gen Z, they're social shoppers, but they're also store shoppers and they're online shoppers. You got to win in all of those.
Everything I'm reading says the same thing too. You can't eliminate one channel. I heard, a lot of them are enjoying the mall again. I'm like,
yes.
What? I thought, what? But truly, you just have to. We all have to be able to chew gum and walk at the same time. We have got to make sure every channel works in unison with the other.
Well, I think Placer, I just listened to a Placer AI webinar yesterday, and it was on traffic and second quarter store traffic. And store traffic was actually down among all categories: wholesale, clubs, mass and discount chains. Store traffic was actually down in the second quarter, but apparel sales were up overall. So that tells you they weren't in stores, they were buying online. Now, as the weather warmed up and, we got nice days, they're back out in the malls and they're back out shopping in stores. But apparel is very much a seasonal item. You got to be there for every season.
Yeah, for sure. And as you said that, I'm thinking, well, gosh, the off-price channel, which has been doing very well.
Yes,
they're not online. So if their share is up and obviously their traffic count is up, how much more is the rest of the industry down in stores?
Right.
Because that's the only way you show up off-price, and they're doing well.
Well, I think TJ Maxx has a small online.
Very small.
But nobody else does. Burlington used to, and they canned it. But I don't know. Again, people shop those stores for the treasure hunt. They don't go in there necessarily looking for a blouse. They go in there to see what they have.
Yeah.
It's a treasure hunt. And I think traffic stays high in those stores. At least I stand in line. I'm in those stores all the time because I like treasure hunt. And I stand in line a long time in those stores. Sometimes I get out of line and say it's not worth it for this,
Do you buy something while you're standing in that little snake around?
I do. A lot of times I do. Sometimes it's a bottle of water. Sometimes it's a snack. Sometimes it's, a hair bow. I don't know. But they have interesting selection they have in that long, what do they call it? Impulse buys. But those stores, at least here in Northwest Arkansas, are usually pretty busy. And I think people are they're just going in just for the entertainment value, just going in to shop, just for something to do. Mm-hmm. Walmart, people go into Walmart. People would go into Walmart to see who was there. I'm from an era where people would meet family members at Walmart because it was the place to go. Walmart now has made it so easy for you to never go in a store and still get all your grocery needs.
I'm a huge Walmart Plus customer.
Listen,
myself.
A Walmart Plus, online store pickup, delivery, however you choose to get it, drone, they have so figured that out. Mm-hmm. It's very intuitive for what I might want or need. They're not as intuitive on the other side of the store as for what I might want and need. Mm-hmm. I buy my light bulbs there. Light bulbs are something that have to be replenished. Mm-hmm. I never get a prompt from Walmart. It's time to replace your LED, lamp bulbs or something. I never get that. Mm-hmm. That they're missing a mark there because I get it when they think I'm out of bananas, So
suggesting other items that you might want to add to your cart.
Yes, because you can now. You can now.
Yeah. So, all that does is scream more opportunity.
More opportunity for sure. And I think they know that. I think they're working on that. I haven't seen it in my inbox yet, but I'm sure I will. They're working to get there. I just think that they are slowly trying to introduce those grocery-loving shoppers to what else we have. Who knew we have 500 million items on Walmart online? And
do you love the new commercial?
I do.
I do too.
I think it's fresh and it's catchy.
It's enough quirky weird that it kind of
catches your attention.
It does.
And can be used for any category. It's very generic like that. I don't know. I think they're getting so many things right. And I think fashion is coming along, and I applaud them for that. I don't know how long it will take, but they're not going anywhere from what I can tell.
Well, that was going to be my question to you, Kim, as we wrap up our time here today, is you've seen Walmart try before. Mm-hmm. And, certainly if you're not failing a little bit, you're not learning. You're not trying to push it hard enough, right?
Right.
What do you think for this time around it will take to show up in an authentic manner with a customer to be taken as credible in the fashion industry?
I think improving the online experience is key. People don't normally think Walmart when they think fashion. I think maybe doing more fashion commercials, maybe a Walmart fashion show where it's nothing but things that are apparel, accessories that are purchased at Walmart. Mm-hmm. I think Walmart really needs to advertise more.
I think the whole Who Knew campaign could be completely extended to fashion.
It could and should be.
Dispel old, myths.
Well, there used to be a thing, I don't buy my, clothes where I buy my groceries. That's kind of like a faux pas. You just don't do that. Oh, yes, you do.
Yeah, we do.
Yes, you do. There's nothing wrong with that. Mm-hmm. I think Walmart has a really big opportunity right now because Target has so many problems.
Still.
And Target has always been known for its apparel, and they have so many operational problems right now. That's a big advantage and opportunity for Walmart to get share in apparel. And I believe they are picking up apparel share. I know my daughter-in-laws are in their 30s, and they tell me, we got this at Walmart. They're proud of it. That's not the only place they shop, but they're proud of it, that they got it at Walmart. They don't mind telling people that.
Well, people for a long time have been mixing higher and lower price points, name brands, and private brands. I mean, it's not an unusual thing. I think it's just allowing the customer to see it in a new light and just to stop and consider. And so whether it's through marketing, I certainly agree with you on continuing to improve the online experience to make it more of a fashion experience.
And get it to me.
Exactly. And know who you are, which it will. It will get smarter.
It will.
I think that's part of it. But I think I said it earlier in our time today, is timing is everything because variables change all the time.
Yes.
And when you think about the fashion industry as a whole and the competitors to Walmart that frankly are back on their heels, now is the time. You can't just play to other people's weaknesses and think the customer will see you as credible.
No.
So I think it's twofold. Now's the time to put the hammer down on the gas, but also there's a lot expected of you if you're going to play in the fashion arena. And so I think continuing to see Walmart improve and just not to rest. And it's not just the fashion they're offering, but how they offer it, which is what you were talking about, is very important.
I agree. And like I said, I'm a fan of Walmart. I live here. I shop there for everything. And because I cover Walmart so closely, I always think about checking Walmart. But I'm not the average shopper. My sister lives in Houston. She never thinks about shopping and checking Walmart.com. She did buy me a KitchenAid mixer for my birthday, and I asked her where she got it, and she said, Walmart, Walmart.com, and I never check. But they had the best price that week when I bought it. Mm-hmm. So she said, I'm going to start checking them more. But it takes that experience. It takes for you to be wowed. Mm-hmm. If you're not a believer, you've got to be wowed. And once you're wowed, you'll check again. Mm-hmm. And I think they've got to do that in fashion. They've got to wow these consumers. This is what we have, and we can get it to you by the time you need it at a price nobody else can.
Well, just like a personal reputation, it takes a lot of time to grow it.
Yes, and a minute to lose it.
Exactly, and I think it's the same here in this situation. So keep up the big fight, Walmart. Keep doing what you're doing, and we'll come and talk about this again. I've enjoyed this greatly.
Yes, it's been awesome.
So to all of our viewers, thank you for tuning in today to Doing Business in Bentonville. If there's any topic that you would love to hear us cover or delve deeper into, please give us a shout out. You can see me through LinkedIn, or you can go to the Doing Business in Bentonville website and leave us a note. Other than that, I hope all of you have a fabulous day, and we'll see you next time.